by Filiz Katman, President of the Energy, Politics and Markets Research Centre at Istanbul Aydin University. Welcome back to the programme, Professor. Now, Turkish contractors have now surpassed $500 billion in overseas projects. What has changed in the industry over the past decade to make Turkish firms such dominant global players?
It is a kind of joint effort by Turkish state and private industries to make that success story. Primarily the recent efforts made by the Turkish companies, especially right after COVID-19 with regard to price effectiveness and with regard to quality, the optimization of these two terms make Turkish products more preferable over the competitive ones. With regard to the cost, with regard to the position, the geostrategic position of Turkey makes Turkey a kind of logistics center, which is a kind of the vision that Turkey aspires to. So these are the main items, and primarily the trust provided in the export markets provided extra success story as a kind of benchmark for other countries to choose Turkey, and primarily defense industry to contribute to this achievement as a kind of primary sector next to tourism and textile industries.
Well, Turkey continues to rank second worldwide in international contracting. So what gives Turkish firms that competitive edge over its rivals?
We all see that COVID-19 affected the inflation in a hyperinflation way, and that's why the costs are the primary motives while deciding over the competitive products. And Turkey, with geostrategic position, proximity to the markets primarily in Europe, with a kind of very well-known story dates back to 1990s. These are the positive motives make Turkey more preferable over the other competitive companies, and primarily the diplomatic relations between Turkey and European Union. The factors affecting Turkish-European relations other than economy also contributed to that achievement as well, but primarily the research and development activities made by Turkish companies to increase productivity and quality contributed to that story as well.
Russia has long been a key market, but the war in Ukraine has disrupted operations. How are Turkish firms adjusting to that shift?
The companies are also focused on Russian market because of the sanctions. We have seen that there's a kind of trouble over there. So there's a kind of mechanisms provided for Turkish companies to continue their business over there. And the closer Turkey and Russia are with regard to diplomatic relations, it also affected Turkish companies to find new alternative ways to continue their economic relations with Russia. Of course, Russia also mentioned that the Turkish position over Ukraine with regard to Crimea, with regard to Ukraine, they accept that it's a kind of red line for Turkey, and that kind of perspective also helped Turkish companies to not that much harshly affected by the ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine.
Filiz Katman from Istanbul Aydin University, thank you very much for your analysis.